Yes, I know. Another Declan Rice video. Have you not done enough of these, Hammers chat? Well, one more won't hurt, and I've not done one since the summer, to be fair. And things have changed. A couple of things have changed since then, but we'll get onto that in a second. The rumour is linking us tonight with Chelsea. Now, that's not what I'm here to discuss, because that came later, and it's a bit easy, isn't it? The first rumour, the first report today, was suggesting Declan Rice has been offered a new contract at West Ham. However, he's yet to sign it because he wants to win trophies. He wants silverware. And he's not going to sign it because that would be a sign of commitment, wouldn't it? Perhaps we would suggest that he's going to stay at West Ham. And I'm not that worried because do I believe it? Part of me does. I do believe West Ham were certainly considering offering Declan a new contract, so perhaps it is already on the table. Would Declan not sign it because he wants to win trophies? Kind of, because I think that's the type of lad he is. I think he's that honest. He would turn around to the club and say, listen, I'm not going to sign this. I'm not going to take more money from West Ham United. I'm not going to have that nice signing on fee, the extra wages and stuff, because I want to win trophies. Therefore, I'm going to have to leave West Ham in the future. It was also suggested in the report that he doesn't want to hand in a transfer request. I believe that part as well. So it wouldn't surprise me. If it turned out to be true, it would not surprise me at all. And I think it's a reflection of the type of person he is, in a good way, that he would be honest with the club and say, it's not right for me to sign this. The Chelsea thing, they're trying to make on that he's got a new agent, and he's dropped his agent, his dad's now his agent, and that is because he's going to try and force through the move to Stamford Bridge. Now that's technically true. He does have his dad is his agent, but at the start of the year, his dad was the agent for the summer transfer window and nothing happened. So why it would happen all of a sudden, I don't know. So I'm not reading anything into that whatsoever. I'm not fussed by the Chelsea rumour. The contract thing, I'm not that bothered by it, to be honest with you. Would Declan refusing to sign it be good for the club? No, but it's only bad for the club if it gets out, like it has, I guess. And it's only bad then if it's all kept in private, which is what Declan would do. What's the issue? He's just being honest, I think. He'd be going about it the right way. There's ways to leave clubs. You have to accept that players will leave clubs eventually. I think we've all accepted that Declan will eventually leave West Ham. The way to do it would be to have a private conversation behind closed doors with the manager, with the chairman, and say, look, I'm here, I'm giving 100%, but I would like to leave in the summer or whatever. Let's do this properly. That's the correct way. And so if Declan is not signing a new contract because he wants to win titles, he wants to win trophies, I think he's doing it the right way. Now, obviously, Declan leaving would be a bad thing. Now, what has changed? That's the point of the video, actually. I'm just filling you in with all the rumours, why I'm doing this video. But what has changed? There's two things. In the summer, I used to look at the top 6 clubs of the Premier Leagues, the ones with the money, the ones with the moolah to sign Declan. And I have to admit, I wasn't convinced any of them needed them. Now, do I think they would need them? Perhaps. But I was trying to think, does their club think they need them? I thought Ollie would be alright with Matic, Fred, McTominay, Pogba. He'd be okay with these options in there. They've obviously gone and signed Van der Beek as well, so they're fine. They're flush with players in centre of the park. This is the summer, by the way. Something's changed. You can get where I'm coming from now. And then you look at Man City, they're alright, and they've got Gundogan, they've got Rodri, they've got Foden coming through. Centre midfield, they're not too shabby. And then you've got Liverpool, flush with players in there. Arsenal's Arsenal, they did go spend a lot of money on centre midfielders though. But I don't think they've got the money to sign Declan Rice anyway. They probably do, they wanted it. And Spurs signed Højbjerg, and then there was Chelsea. But we know Chelsea spent a lot of cash. They recouped a lot as well. I think it goes on. So people ignore how the fact that they had a transfer ban. They had the Hazard money. They were able to sell players that they had out on loan. It come to about 30 million or something. It was a lot of money they took back into the club. But they had Jorginho and Conte sort of in the way. Kovacic was there, who I think was possibly their best player last season. So I could see why they were a little bit reluctant to spend another 70 to 80 million pounds on Declan Rice. But that's changed now. I look at the top 6 again. Arsenal still Arsenal. Tottenham are doing fine. They don't need him. Man City, do you know something? I look at that and they're missing something this season. I don't know what it is. I keep saying a little bit of the sparkle, a little bit of the magic. Is Declan the magic? Probably not. But would he allow the magic to happen from Mahrez and Torres, De Bruyne? Definitely. I'm not convinced by Rodri. I know this is a personal opinion now that I'm chucking in here, but it's a personal opinion video, I guess. But I've seen Rodri for a year and a bit now, and I'm just not quite sure he's okay for City. There's just something about him that I don't really get him. Man United is the same there. Pogba's world class when he turns up, but him turning up is a bit of an issue. Fred's consistent but not good enough for a side wanting to win the title, because that's what Man U are. Man United are still a side that wants to win the title. You look at them in the league right now, they're not that far off it. It's a crazy old season. It's got that feel of 15-16 about it. Anyone's beatable. Liverpool are showing signs of the champions, but City certainly aren't. So there's an opportunity there for Man U. But anyway, Fred, consistent, maybe not good enough. McTominay, I think he's good enough. I understand why some people don't. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer clearly did not want to sign Van der Beek. So there's possibly room for a centre midfielder there. Matic has these good moments, but he's just inconsistent. Then you look at Chelsea, they're missing something. While Lampard's done alright, he's not doing that great. Now, I'm not going to call Havertz a flop here. I want to make that clear, because I always, rule of thumb, say players get a season. When they come over to the Premier League, when they come to England, you give them a year. I almost write off the first season a little bit to give them time to settle in. He's young, he's 21 years old, he's come from Germany, he's had COVID. But the biggest thing for that is they don't really play his position. He's sort of like the number 10 kind of player. If anyone's watching the Bundesliga knows what a top talent Havertz is. But they don't really have that position. The last game, he's stuck out on the right wing and stuff. So Lampard needs to get him a bit more central, a bit more involved. But can he do that? Would signing Declan Rice allow him to get Havertz into the middle of the park? Possibly. And I think that's maybe what's changed a little bit. I can see why Declan appeals more to these clubs in terms of their own situation. But there's one thing in particular that I think has made Declan's stock rise higher than it was in the summer. And this is why I think I can believe these rumours a little bit. His passing, that's it. That one thing, his passing. In this last season, I felt the only thing stopping Declan being good enough for a club like City, a club like Chelsea, was on the ball. He was a little bit safe. Off the ball, fantastic. There's absolutely no doubt that Declan Rice, with his interceptions, his tackling, his reading of the game, his leadership, there's no doubt he's good enough for all these clubs. The only little bit of doubt, or the little bit of something he needed to add to his game, was his passing. And it's not so much can he pass, but his range of passing, how many times he plays the ball forward and so on and so forth. He's done that this season. He's changed, his role's changed at West Ham a little bit, and he's become the complete midfielder. The last game, I actually thought he was possibly our most creative player to an extent. I think so far was our most creative player, but you know what I'm trying to say. In terms of getting the ball and getting it into the final third, trying to be a bit aggressive with our offensive play, I think Declan Rice was possibly that player. And it's not the first game I watched this season and thought that. There's not many, and it's not every game, but there's been a few. I've thought actually Declan's the one trying to move the ball forward. Declan was the one doing the dribbling and stuff here. And I think adding those things to his game, it becomes a lot more appealing to those clubs who might have looked at him last season and thought, right, he's clearly got the ability, clearly got a lot of potential, but he's just not quite there yet. I think they'll look at him this season and think, he's got it now. And the funny thing is, I actually think his performances this season aren't as good as last season. Last season he was 8, 9 out of 10 every week. This season, I think he's had a couple of 6s in there already. But he's learning a new role. And for someone to sort of have to adapt his game this drastically and still perform this well is unbelievable, really. A lot of players, like Havertz is a key example. I'm aware he's settling in the Premier League, but Havertz is having to play a slightly different position to what he's used to, and he's struggling a little bit with it. Declan, that struggle isn't there. And a 6 is about as low as he's gone. He's had Everton in the Cup apart. He's not really had a bad game. He's just had average, but an average for Declan Rice, you know what I mean? He looks poor, but he still does okay. He's average for the squad, but poor for Declan. That's what I'm trying to say. Got it out eventually, didn't I? Poor for Declan, but in terms of the squad, it was still an average performance. And I just think he's become a lot more appealing this season to these clubs. Now, for West Ham, what do we do? And this goes back to what I said about Thomas Souček in the other video. I think we've almost got to come up with a price tag, not announce it to the world, but stick to it. Whether that's 80 million, 70 million, whatever it is, I think we have to come up with a price tag and say that is the price for Declan. And also, I'd like to see us planning for Declan's replacement. Who are we going to get? Because that's the big question, isn't it? There's not so much will Declan leave. I think we were all quite consistent with the answer. I think we all know he will eventually. The question is how much and who are you going to go get? I think this is where we need to be a little bit forward planning. So the day he goes, the day we go get him. I think, and I think if he does go, I like to think this is our plan. We'll keep him until the Euros are finished. A good performance in that tournament, his price goes up, his stock goes up, the people interested in him goes up. Everything works in West Ham's favour. A bad tournament for him in England doesn't really bother him, does it? His value's not going to go down because England played poorly at the Euros. England play well, his value goes up a little bit. You're now selling, the first choice defensive midfielder for England, who's just performed really well at the Euros, just done it on the big stage, just possibly done better than Jordan Henderson, done better than Mason Mount, done better than Calvin Phillips and stuff. Prime time for Declan's value, I guess. The question isn't so much will he leave, it's when will he leave, how much we'll get, and who we're going to go get. And that's the three things I want to see West Ham planning for, so that we've got a bit of an idea of what's going to happen when he does depart, because it'll be no surprise. Anyway, as for the rumour, I wouldn't dismiss everything, but the new contract stuff, if he isn't signing a new contract because he wants to win trophies, and he's dealing with all this privately, by the way, because this hasn't come out from Declan's side, this has come out in The Athletic. Where they get the information from, I do not know, but it's the right way to go about it. And I'm not ever going to blame a player for having ambition to go on and do better than West Ham, because to get there, you're going to have to perform exceptionally well and consistently for West Ham. So we'll benefit from it. And the challenge is for West Ham to build a team around those players in order to compete and keep them happy. Unfortunately, I think it's just a bit too soon for Declan. We might get European football. We might go get the FA Cup. Now, when Declan says he wants to win trophies, while the FA Cup he would love to lift, I think he's talking about 2-3 trophies in particular. One's with England, the other two, the title in the Champions League. Is it good enough? I think so. And this season, he might just earn his move to one of those clubs. Anyway, I'm going to disappear. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we'll catch you tomorrow.